The Marvels has faced multiple delays, as you guys probably all know, or maybe not, because let's face it, who has actually been looking forward to the Marvels? Anybody? Let me know in the comments. But now there's a rumor coming out saying that the reason why there are continual delays is because of Brie Larson herself being a diva, supposedly. I mean, that's not that hard to believe, but let's go ahead and dive into this to get to the meat of the situation, find out what's going on. So this comes to us from Bounding Into Comics, and they said the rumor here is the Marvel's latest delay is the result of Brie Larson's diva behavior. It's just a crap show, they said. Now, before I even really dive into this, I have had zero interest in the Marvels. Mostly because I did not like the Captain Marvel movie. And I mean, when it first dropped, dude, people were scared to even say they didn't like it because you'd be called a misogynist just because you didn't like a movie. That's just the state of things. That's just been what Marvel even is just... I feel like with so many Marvel properties, it's just like, oh, you don't like this one? You're a misogynist. You don't like She-Hulk? Or you're a racist if you don't like Wakanda Forever? Whatever it may be, that's just kind of where things have been. Instead of, I don't know, just focusing on the merit of the film or TV show or whatever it may be in this case. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. In the same way that her self-important public persona wrecked any hopes of Captain Marvel ever becoming one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most genuinely beloved characters, it seems Brie Larson's dissatisfaction with being demoted from her franchise's leading lady to one of its many ensemble members is proving disastrous for the Marvel's production. Okay, so if this is true and maybe she's annoyed about not being just the solo lead star again, this just kind of brings me back to, I want to say, didn't she have like some sort of speech somewhere where she was saying something like, we need to elevate women of color. Well, that's what happened in her own franchise. So if she's not happy about it, well, that's kind of ironic given her history and what she has said. But let's continue further and see if there's any like valid truth to this. More than perhaps any other MCU effort thus far, the Marvels has had, to say the least, a rough time taking off. Because, I mean, it just doesn't, it's just not gripping. It's not grabbing my attention. A Marvel family adventure, the film has also suffered 4 total release delays. 4, that's a freaking lot. With its original July 28, 2023 premiere having ultimately been pushed back to its current date of November 10th, 2023. And while 3 of these delays were the result of Marvel's panicked rescheduling of its future phases in response to audiences' lackluster reception to Phase 4, maybe because it was just terrible. The latest was apparently caused by Larson's refusal to work with her co-star Monica Photon Rambeau actress Teyonah Parris. What if this is true? What the crap? Like, what happened to that? Elevate women of color voices, okay? Speaking to the topic during the March 9th episode of his and film critic John Rocha's The Hot Mic podcast, noted film reporter Jeff Snyder informed his co-host that in terms of the Marvel's production, I've heard that this is just a crap show. I've heard it's kind of chaos. I mean, I think four delays kind of shows that. Or either there's some sort of chaos in development or they just don't have faith in it. This is kind of like, with Black Widow, she finally got her solo movie and it got delayed to oblivion. And then by the time we actually got it, it was just too little too late in that case. And the movie just wasn't great enough to kind of justify not only, the fact that they waited as long as they did to push the movie out, but for all of the other delays that happened after as well. All right, so then we have a quote here where he says, and really, I don't think this will really surprise anybody who is plugged into the industry. I've heard again, don't get mad at me, I've heard Brie is a nightmare. Is that even a surprise given just her attitude with interviews and stuff? She has treated people like garbage. Like, we've seen it. We've seen how she acted like with Chris Hemsworth. With Chris Hemsworth, talking about stunt doubles, this, that, and the other. Oh, I don't have a stunt double, trying to one up him, which we know, girl, you have stunt double, first of all. But secondly, just trying to one up him. You had like that guy who interviewed her on a red carpet asking, are we going to get another Captain Marvel movie? And she's just like, I don't know. Do people want it? I don't know. Just so flippant and so rude. Quite frankly, rude. She does not. There are so many personality analysis videos on her interviews just because she is insufferable. If this is a bit and if this is an act, why? First of all, why would you want your reputation to be that way? But I don't know. Something tells me it's not an act, like it's actually how she is. Because who would want people to see them that way? So anyway, let's continue. Pressed by Rocha for further information on the situation, Snyder made it clear that their conversation was entering the realm of gossip, but it's gossip from a good place. Before revealing, I've heard, first of all, she was upset that the movie is called The Marvels, okay? It's not Captain Marvel 2, he added. Everybody else has like Thor, everything like that. This is the Marvels. Oh, so she's like not having her name, her character name, directly, she's not the center of attention, right? She's got to share the limelight. One would think that a movie that, pulled in over $1 billion and this kind of franchise, you would think that it could stand alone on her name. But I think the fact that, especially given at that time too, so many more people were scared to give genuine criticism about the movie because they were scared of being called a misogynist. I don't think as many people genuinely liked the movie as social media could kind of paint that kind of picture. And I think Marvel knows this because this has been a while. And for this not to be a Captain Marvel 2 type movie in this case and just the Marvels, it's just seeming pretty phoned in to me. But that's that. I don't think that she performed well enough. I don't think that, she really did the character the justice that could have happened. When I was watching the movie, I was thinking like, she ruined it. She just ruined it. I just did not like her acting in it. I didn't like her. She doesn't pull off that kind of, I feel like what she was trying to pull off was sort of like a Tony Stark type arrogance a little bit. And, but that still had some sort of charm to it. That's the thing, is Tony Stark is still charming. But in this case with Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers was just insufferable. She was not likable. And partially that is due to the writing, because when it comes to woke writing, these writers don't know how to write female characters well anymore because they have to be right. They have to be perfect. They have to be victims at the same time. And it's just a giant mess. And if you really want to look at a character who is overconfident, who is arrogant, and who does pull it off, and she's a female character and who was written well at a time, was classic Lara Croft. Of course, I got to talk about her. But the thing is she was also flawed in the fact that she was overconfident, but she was charming, and she was also, she was also sassy and playful in a lot of ways, of course, depending on the game, or if you think about like the first 2 movies, for example, as well. So there were other elements to her character. She wasn't just some insufferable jerk, Okay, she's an Oscar winner, Snyder continued. Brie Larson is an Oscar winner, and they have a certain expectation of the way they are going to be treated. Okay, but again, and looking back at that interview where she said, we have to elevate people of color, we have to elevate them. Well, she's just totally fine making these kind of statements, but she isn't practicing what she's preaching in this case if these rumors are true and she's not happy about it. Which is funny. But hey, you said it, girl. You said it. Now when you got to share the limelight, now you got a problem. So she was cast as Captain Marvel before everything, before there was a director, before there were writers, he recalled. She's Captain Marvel. She thinks of this as this is her movie, right? Rather than this is a Marvel movie that she's the star of. This is how it's been described to me. That, honestly, I would not be surprised if that is true. You know who else had a Marvel movie built around them before anything came into place? Snyder asked rhetorically. That would be two-time Oscar winner Mahershala Ali with Blade. Got a new director in November. Here we are 5 months later, still no update on casting. Man, and I made a video about this months ago, if not like a year ago, right? Or I think it's been a few months ago. Yeah, it was months ago, not a year ago. But yeah, where that looks like it's going to be a giant mess if it's true, where he's going to be outshined by his daughter, who is better than him at everything, because of course that's how things are with the state of current Marvel. See where I'm going with this stuff? He then inquired. Brie Larson, an Oscar winner. Mahershala Ali, a two-time Oscar winner. These people want things done a certain way, and they carry the weight to get their way. And yet, he concluded, sometimes this causes delays. As noted above, should Marvel not make any more scheduling changes, The Marvels is currently on track to crash into theaters on November 10th. Okay, I wonder if anybody's even going to watch it. But anyway, I don't know. I just feel like this is just some kind of bold attitude to have here, if this is true, for Brie Larson, given that she just didn't, her movie just didn't have the same impact as, you know, some of the more hard hitters that we had before Phase 4 especially. But she's no matter what, how the movie sold, blah, 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 during its time, Captain Marvel is no Captain America or Iron Man or Thor. She just doesn't have that impact in the MCU at this time. It's just not what's going on. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I will catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.